HCAM News is supported by our viewers and by Hopkinton Drug, located in this historic New England town since 1954. They are a multifaceted store dedicated to providing clients with an array of healthcare options.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of HCAM News. I'm HCAM News Director Tom Nappy. On this edition of HCAM News, we'll recap the Ashland Legion Baseball Zone 5 playoff run. We have scenes from the latest concerts on the Common, and also HCAM's Hopkinton Hangout Hour was back in the studio. But first, we recently caught up with Hopkinton Water Sewer Manager Eric Carty to talk about happenings at the DPW. We are joined by Hopkinton Water and Sewer Manager Eric Carty. Eric, how are you?
Doing good, Tom. How about yourself?
I can't complain. We're back in the studio now, so
Good.
Things getting back to normal a little bit. But I understand it's been very busy over there at the DPW. Can you talk about some of the projects that you guys have been working on and how everything is going over there?
Sure, yeah. It's been quite a busy spring and start to the summer for us. With the downtown project, we've been quite involved with that. A lot of the water utilities are having some not a lot, I should say, but between marking stuff out and then some conflicts, we're up there working with the contractor as they're installing drainage. We've had to move some water lines, some of the fire hydrant lines that go across. So we've been working quite a bit hand in hand with them to get that project done. In addition to that, we are replacing a long stretch of water main on Hayden Rose Street, just down from the Chestnut intersection all the way to the Milford line. There's an old 6-inch line from the 30s there that's probably down to about a 4-inch capacity due to the tuberculation buildup on the inside of the main. So we have some flow issues and there's some fire flow issues down that end of town. So this replacement will help with water quality down there, the quantity, and definitely help with the firefighting as well. So PJ Hayes is the contractor down there, and they've actually been flying there almost down past to College Street right now in just a matter of 3 weeks. So unfortunately, I think when they get around the corner there's quite a bit of ledge down there. So hopefully it doesn't slow them down too much, but those two projects have been going on, and the highway's getting ready to do their paving project, so we'll be marking out with that. With the gas company, everyone digging seems half the time we just spend is marking out our utilities now. There's so much work going on in town, but they're keeping us busy, and then of course the weather. As you know, I like to follow the weather, and we went from drought conditions in June to 10 inches of rain in about 2 weeks, which is good for the water side, but not all at once, but not good for the sewer side. So we were dealing with quite a bit of water in the sewer system during a few of those storms there when we had the tropical storm Elise come in there. And then we had another almost inch and a half shortly thereafterwards. So there was quite a bit of water there. Seems like it's always either too much or too little, not just right anymore.
Absolutely. It seems like every single day this July it has rained. And I'm glad you brought that up. I was going to ask if the all this rain is causing any flood issues or anything like that.
Yeah, it does on the sewer side. If you get that much rain, there's really not much you can do. If you get an inch here or there, there's no problems. But when it just compile it like that, there's just no way for the water to go. The ground was so saturated. We also had to go down and open the Maspinock Dam. The lake came up almost 4 to 5 inches from those storms. So in order to make sure the integrity of the dam was safe, we had to go open that as well. So it's nice when it gets spaced out a little bit. We've already had over 12 inches of rain in just July alone, and that's like 3 to 4 inches above what the entire summer average is. So if we don't get another drop, we're above average for this year. So it's good. Like I said, it's good for the water side, helps keep the aquifers replenished on that note. But you don't want to get it all at once. Like to spread it out a little bit over the summer, because we can go right back into it in August again to the drought.
Well, maybe we could put some of it aside for a year that we have a drought.
Yeah, it would be nice to be able to store it.
And by the way, this is a good time to mention that you can hear all about the Hopkinton weather on our Hopkinton weather trends, courtesy of Eric Carty, who sends those in with the weather station he's got over there at the DPW. So I understand there was a big shutdown today. You had to shut down some water on Main Street. I think you might have mentioned it a little bit before, but what's going on with that?
Yeah, so as part of the project, they're installing some drainage along Main Street, and these drain pipes are quite large. So the where they're being laid is in conflict with the height of the existing water main. There's actually two mains on Main Street in that section. There's an old main from the 30s and then a newer main from the 70s. So we're eliminating some of the older hydrant branches that are in the way of the drainage. Unfortunately, in order to do that, we have to shut the main down to cut those pieces out, put a cap over it so that they can put their main in and then turn that back on. So that we're doing the second hydrant this morning as we speak. The guys are up there now doing that. So hopefully everything goes well with that. Now, you never know, working with some of these older pipes, it's always a challenge. Last week we got the main shut down most of the way, not quite all the way. So the guys were able to do it under a little bit of duress with about 20 gallons a minute flowing by them, but they were able to do a great job in getting that shut off.
So a project like that, that's just future problem prevention, I'm guessing.
Well, we're trying to switch everything over to this new main, and hopefully as part of this project, eliminate that main so that there isn't any issues as they go by. We're also switching out some of the older service lines that go to the houses, our old iron pipe, which are just prone to leaking, especially during construction projects when you've got all the heavy machinery over there. So contractor's been great, Amarillo, in working with us as they go by, and we have these older ones. We're replacing those lines as they go by them. We did one down at Claflin Ave. We've done one up near Commonwealth Ave, and we'll be doing a couple more as they go up past the cleaners on the corner of Pleasant Street. So yeah, we definitely want to try to replace as much of the old infrastructure as we can, so that we're not worried about trying to dig stuff up when the new road is down.
Well, Eric, I know you're a busy guy, so we'll let you go, and best of luck with all the projects you guys have going on.
All right, as always, Tom, it's a pleasure, and thank you for letting us get the word out to the people of what we have going on here.
The HCAM office is once again open, and we are back working in the studio. And recently, we had a brand new edition of the Hopkinton Hangout Hour from the studio. Here's a look. The HCAM staff is back in the studio, and they recently hosted a live edition of the Hopkinton Hangout Hour. Guests included Fire Chief Stephen Slammin.
The fact that we had such a low rate of COVID and that Station 2 isn't ideally positioned, as I keep looking at it and deciding what to do. And I'm just taking it on a week-by-week basis, and I'll just kind of update the community as I go. There's a chance that we would bring the groups back to the station. I have to refurbish engine 4, which is my only pumper that actually fits in that building.
That's right, yeah.
So I am refurbishing that in a few weeks, so I'll really give it a hard evaluation then, and I'll just see where COVID is then. And it's like all the decisions we made in COVID, we'll take the data, see what's in front of us. If COVID is stayed low, I may bring everybody back here, because operationally we can cover the town a little better from here than from Woodville. It's just not in an ideal spot. It's okay, but it's not ideal. And I know for the residents of Woodville, that stinks when I say that, but it's a rural area. And, 9 out of their 10 responses is they're coming back towards this facility. So that's just not advantageous for us.
Right, would it be, having a station on the west side would probably better if you went more south and get onto like the West Bay Street side of things? That would probably do you a little bit better?
Yeah, in our public safety study, we've done a lot of work there. We know the hot spot is right downtown. Like I told you in the past, the people before me picked a really ideal location for a fire station. And so there's a little activity to the east. Luckily, they put a lot of safety systems by sprinkling all the residents that whether it's Fairview Estates, whether it's all of the legacy units, they all have fire protection sprinklers, and we have a pretty good shot down East Main Street to get there, so our times are really good. And more of the activity is towards 495 and West Main Street. That's really where the computer tells us the next improvement is, and where there's likely to be some more development in the future. So again, it's stuff we keep assessing. We keep looking at the data. I'm working with the town manager right now. We have a consultant that we still reference. We're looking at, the town doesn't really have any ideal land for us to go to. So that's kind of our short story, and we're looking hard there. And we're trying to put more supportive data together so that if we have an ask of the community, we can bring that to them in an informed way.
In the second part of the show, we talked with Abby Rosenberg from the Mental Health Collaborative.
We're so excited about the work we're doing, about the need for it. I'm as you know, I'm so passionate about it, and we're really making a lot of inroads both in schools and communities, educating people in businesses, and just having those conversations about mental health and trying to decrease the stigma. So that people don't have to suffer silently, which has been the case for years and years.
Now, do you find that your work in schools has become easier? Is the younger generation more open and more willing to talk about and share experiences and grow together? Or do you find that there's a challenge still getting through and getting open with that?
I think the challenge of getting into schools is much more difficult than the kids being open to it. We were fortunate enough to get a grant to go into Hopkinton Middle School and some of the students in the high school in 9th grade this past year, and we did our curriculum with the remote students. And the feedback we got was tremendous. We're still looking at the quantitative hard data to get real results, but the qualitative and data and the feedback that we got from students was overwhelmingly positive, and they all across the board are so hungry for this information. They want to talk about it, and they want to learn what is mental illness, what is not mental illness, and what can we all do to fight the stigma so that people don't have to bear these things alone, just like they would never bear having asthma alone.
Now, that's a really important statement that you said when you say that the schools are telling you we want to know what is mental illness and what is not mental illness. Are you dealing directly with teachers who are working with that? Is it admin, nurses, guidance counselors? How does it work?
Well, it's kind of in my case just getting in however we can. So of course, Hopkinton is close to my heart. I know the Hopkinton schools and love the Hopkinton schools. And so we are going to be training Hopkinton middle and high school educators this summer to bring this particular mental health literacy curriculum into the schools. So that is excellent news. It's been hard in some schools to get to know who to talk to and to get our program in because people are just so burnt out. They are trying to do so much. People are across the board anxious about going back to schools and jobs in general. So there's a lot of different emotions going around, and we're just doing our best to get this information into as many schools, as many communities, and as many organizations, corporations as we can, because everyone really does need it. As it turns out, not only in Hopkinton, we just had a training with Framingham Public Schools for their summer school, which was awesome. And we have an upcoming training, believe it or not, in a district in Minnesota.
Wow.
And in a district in Wisconsin. So I guess, silver lining of this crazy pandemic is that now we are prepared to do our trainings virtually. So we can virtually go anywhere in the United States or in the country.
You can see the full edition airing on HCAM and on our YouTube page. We're going to take a quick time out on this edition of HCAM News. A whole lot more ahead. Don't go anywhere.
HCAM programming is supported by our viewers, thank you, and by Phipps Insurance Agency, representing companies such as MapFree Insurance. Their family-owned independent agency is deeply rooted in the communities they serve and offer time-tested insurance products to fit individual needs. Since 1950, Phipps Insurance specializes in home, auto, business, condo, and renters insurance.
Welcome back to HCAM News. The Hopkinton Parks and Recreation Commission are happy to be hosting their Concerts on the Common series. Recently, they had a great group called Electric Youth. Here's a look.
The
Hopkinton Parks and Recreation Department have gotten a good turnout for their annual Concerts on the Common series. This past weekend, Electric Youth performed and rocked the house with some great tunes.
Feel funky, feel good. I'm gonna tell you, I'm in
Jeans, it's love and understanding positivity. it changes the world with the piano. Grab a bass, some guitar, grab a beat, and away we go. I'm just a boy with a one-man show. No university, no degree, but Lord knows everybody's talking about exponential growth and the stock market crashing in their portfolios. But I'll be sitting here with the song that I wrote, singing love could change the world in a moment. But what do I know? I'm not alone anymore.
I'm not alone. But I can say this is mine. You can't take me. Love is mine. Love like me. For once in my life, I have someone.
You can view the whole Electric Youth performance airing on HCAM and our YouTube page. The next Concerts on the Common event takes place Sunday, August 1st at 5 p.m. and features a Latin band called Grupo Fantasia. Stay tuned to the HCAM website for all other upcoming events. Ashland Legion Baseball clinched the #1 seed in the Zone 5 playoffs. Here's a look at their playoff run. Ashland Legion Baseball finished the regular season with 10 wins and 2 losses and clinched the #1 seed in the Zone 5 playoffs. Ashland battled 4th-seeded Hudson in a win-or-go-home semifinals game at Mahan Field in Natick. Hudson led 3-0 until the bottom of the third. Gets away from the catcher. Here comes a run. And he's safe. Luke Herter scores on the wild pitch.
That was closer than I thought it was going to be.
Am I?
No, not you. Sylvester.
Well, there's a hit by Matt Neal, and a runner from third being sent around. Farrell will score, and now they have Matt Neal caught in a pickle. He's going back towards first. Now he's going to go towards second. Now another run's going to score in the meantime, and Neal's still in the pickle, and they get him out, but Post 77 ties the game.
That was smart base running to stay in that pickle just long enough so Dusty could score. It was a poorly executed rundown, but great base running by Dusty.
Post 77 ties it up and adds more in the 4th inning. And this is a rocket up the third base line. That'll get through. Cowern being waved around. Here he comes. And now heading over to second is Ibbotson. And he has an RBI double, and Post 77 leads it 4-3. Significant lead by Ibbotson as this is hit up the left side. Ibbotson being waved around. The throw in is not going to be in time, and Post 77 leads it now by 2. An RBI single by Luke Herter, who advances the second on the throw in. Lineup and the pitch. And this is a rocket up the third base line. That gets through. Here comes one run, another run right behind him, and he will score as well. A 2 RBI single for Mason Dushney. Luke Herter and Nick Calabrese are plated. 4 more runs in the inning. Post 77 up 7-3, and they add another run in the bottom of the 5th. Story looks at third. And this is up the middle. It is gloved by the shortstop. Kavanaugh going to try to score. Now they have the runner going to third in a pickle. They'll get him out. And now they'll throw to second. And they'll get 2 outs out of it. A run did score, but Post 77 taking a few too many risks there. But they have an 8-3 lead. Ashland would end up taking the game and advanced to take on Natick in the Zone 5 finals. The next night in the Zone finals, Natick took a 3-0 lead into the top of the 3rd. Dawes delivers, and this is hit in the air, and that'll get down into center field. One run's going to come around to score, and here comes another run around to score, and perhaps a third run, and they will all score.
A 3 RBI double by Ben Fosberg. He clears the bases. And this is hit very hard into center field towards the fence, and that is gone. A home run by Haskell. And 3 more Natick runs are going to score.
I think it's time for the hook.
Haskell absolutely crushed that ball.
Natick would end up pouring on 8 runs in the inning, and they would take the game in dominant fashion by a final score of 18-2. Natick advanced to the state tournament, while Ashland will continue this week with exhibition games to close out their season. It was a rough ending for Post 77, but some great experience for the young players and the newcomers to the team. Congratulations to Coach Obid and the team on a very good season. The next Hopkinton Parks and Recreation Commission Concerts on the Common will feature Grupo Fantasia Sunday, August 1st at 5 p.m. Upcoming events at the Hopkinton Center for the Arts include the Racky Thomas Band on July 31st. For all the upcoming events at the HCA, head over to hopartscenter.org. Our picture of the week, Hopkinton's Bravest. We're out with Mike Terosian to film a part in the Boston Marathon Love Letter Project. Thanks to Karen Webb for the photo. Upcoming town government meetings include on Monday, August 1st at 7 p.m. we'll have the Zoning Advisory Committee on HCAM TV. And on Tuesday, August 3rd at 6 p.m., we'll have the Select Board meeting on HCAM TV. For all the upcoming town government meetings, head over to hopkintonma.gov. Believe it or not, we are out of time for this edition of HCAM News. Don't worry, next Thursday at 6:30 p.m., we'll be back. As always, thanks for tuning in. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.